I got my notebook ready.
Oh yeah, you were you're planning to write notes. I mean, do we want to recap since it's been a while? It's been like, I don't know, 9 weeks, 10 weeks since the last time we watched.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long. I mean, you've been away and then I've been away.
Okay, sure. You mean recap episode 3? The one that we just watched? Yep.
Yeah.
In my
What do you
memory,
remember?
We had the great showdown / mentoring session between Abiko and mentor-san Yuriko.
Yuriko? Yep.
Which produced the greatest... I don't know how long exactly that explosive dialogue was, but it went for a good couple of minutes where they let everything off their chest. And they both had great points. Yuriko was like, you need to get past your fear of communication because it's going to kill you if you can't work with other people and you can't meet them halfway. You're never going to make it in this industry if you go on like this. While also she was struggling with her, definitely not jealousy, just sort of this inevitable envy on her part that her mentee could so quickly become so much more successful than she was in terms of readership numbers. But that was a very important point that Abiko needs to take on board because she was dying and drowning in cup noodle stench.
Yep.
But then on Abiko's side, sorry. You have something to say?
Oh, no, keep going.
But on Abiko's side, I remember her points that stuck and that were also valid was that you do sometimes have to stick more to your guns as the creator of the content. And she made the point of Sweet today, you know, how that turned out.
Which we knew from season 1.
So
how that was a disaster.
Yeah, a lot of things stuck out from that dialogue that just culminated in that final, 7 to 8
showdown.
Minutes.
Yeah. I was gonna mention the what was the phrase? Something about 90% of the works are trash or something. And I was like, oh, I vaguely remember that applies to YouTube and Twitch. And I remember trying to find the statistics, and there was one from 2019 to 2020 that said that this is for YouTube videos based on view count. So 88% of the videos have less than 1,000. 9.3% of the videos have 1,000 to 10,000, and only 1.9% of the videos are from 10,000 to 100,000. And you can imagine it just gets smaller and smaller. Views. So her, gauge of the masses, I guess, because they're only they're not talking about just creators. This is probably all creators, all, anyone who creates anything, right? All works fall under this percentage where 90% of the work is not viewed, positively, I guess. It's they don't get attraction or, they're not great.
Yeah. Applies to the idol industry or whatever entertainment industry. Yeah. A lot of that effort goes not nowhere because there is some value to just the act of creation itself, I think. But in terms of getting eyeballs, that pyramid thing plays out. Yeah, that's true.
Tommy says, to be fair, not all YouTube videos are creative works. That's fair too. That's fair. I mean, we don't know exactly what the scope she was saying, how far that extends to.
What is creation? Let's go on a 2-hour tangent before we even watch episode 5. Not 5, 4.
No, 4.
Okay.
4.
Should we do that? Yeah. I feel like, whoever's...
Yeah, we should probably start. Is everyone ready?
Everyone has their own copies to follow along. We do have the timer up.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're good to go.
Yep.
All right, ready, guys? In three, two, one, play. All good?
When were you going to when were you going to like revisit the OP and ED? We have not gotten around to that.
Let's get through 3 episodes first.
True.
What do we say about the OP? Oh, I didn't even notice the. What are those? I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at any
Percussion.
percussive instruments. Like, you know, clackers.
You gotta ask
Tommy, help me.
castanets. Castanets.
Castanets. I was close. I was very close. Yeah, I really like them. I don't know why I just noticed them.
Yeah, we definitely should re-listen to the song sometime after we caught up with all the episodes.
Giga? Giga? Is that the composer of the song?
Oh, I didn't see.
A traditional dub. I like it.
Mm. Oh yeah, she got a ticket
Oh.
to watch the ping pong.
Will she
The very
leave
intense.
destroyed though? Because she's like, I can't write something like this.
She didn't even get a seat. Why? I thought she got a ticket. Nope.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, so different. The tone change.
Hey, we covered those.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Wow, they actually wrote out the legislation.
Yeah. Nice.
Just being real.
Um. Wow.
Mm. Mm, maybe to do with the characters. Oh, was the condition that she be able to talk to him directly?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm like, why don't they just do that from the beginning?
I mean, they might explain it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like totally ill advised plan.
Ego clash, maybe?
Yeah, probably. If two sides are
Yeah.
very strong-willed,
They might
it
end
might
up
be a
with
complete
nothing.
breakdown.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're
No.
becoming friends.
She's compromising.
I just like the
Mm,
music they're using too. So uplifting, so major.
It's like good resolution. How much are they cutting?
And then it's something that like the other staff are like, no, we can't do this.
What is this
And it's
script?
just too good to be true.
Isn't that good?
No, he's thinking about like schedules, timelines,
True, true.
budget.
True, true.
I guess also they've switched up a lot of things. So, mm.
Film actors.
Does he have one?
Does he?
Mm. It's like how Broadway actors have to, or any stage actor,
Project. Yeah, stage
project
actor has to.
emotions. And then when they translate to like TV screen, it's too much. I'm
Mm.
thinking Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Always getting caught out. Bragging. No.
Pepper. Oh.
PTSD alert.
Hmm? Ooh, I love the tone of her voice.
Yeah,
Like the roughness.
Kana is the best. Does he have any?
Yeah, of course.
No. Multiple Kana picks. Totally not
I
biased
mean,
here.
clearly. Ooh.
Oof. Oh shit.
Ooh. Oh, that distorted cello. So creepy. He needs a therapist.
He needs a therapist. But then he also knew how to cheat like out of getting therapy.
Mm,
I think they mentioned in season 1 that as a kid he pretty much like acted as if he didn't have any issues because he knew what the therapist would look out for.
mm.
Because they probably wouldn't expect like, you know, a 4-year-old to know how to manipulate adults.
True.
It's so eerie that background is silent. Like, there's no music.
Mm. No dramatic strings.
Yeah.
Just an image. That's referring to his previous life, right? As
No,
her
I think
doctor? Or kind
that's
of both?
both, I would say. I think it's more we'll talk about it
Yeah.
later.
Oh, she's doing the thing.
Yeah. Why is she an actor? She should just be a detective.
It's interesting when they choose to put the stars in Akane's eyes.
Mm.
I love Akane.
She's like best girlfriend.
Girlfriend that's not a girlfriend. It will never be a
That's not a
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
But oh.
Oh,
Ooh.
we're already at the end.
Yeah, can we go back to when we were wondering whether the blame of him not protecting I enough was referring to him as a child, which would be ridiculous because he was a child, or to his previous life as her doctor?
I would say it's that weird transition between both, right? Because he's already like 2-3 years old by then. So he's not a doctor anymore, but his like identity probably still thinks he's a doctor in a body of a child. Right? So because he hasn't transitioned into I am Aqua, not the doctor anymore, right? Because that would take years of, having more experiences and memories to develop your own identity, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I would say in that early stage, he was probably still thinking, I am the doctor in a child's body rather than I am Aqua.
Yeah.
So he probably feels like I didn't do enough as a doctor, even though he's a child.
However, even if we were just talking about his role as her doctor, the blaming himself is more like it's not logically like he could have done anything. Right?
Yeah, I think it's probably
like
similar to
doctor
survivor's guilt, maybe as well. Like he was there, but then he couldn't do anything. It's not because at that point it's not thinking logically anymore. You literally sat on the laps of someone who slowly died, right? That is very traumatic and devastating.
Yes.
I think at that point logic just like flies out the window. Yeah. But it's just like guilt, I would say, in his mind, where it's like, I have the knowledge to save someone because I have the experience and knowledge of a doctor, but I am stuck. I remember listening to a psychologist mention this. It's when you lose the capability to do something, there's a certain trauma. I think, I forgot what it's called. There's a certain trauma. It's like, for example, you are a soccer player and then because of a car accident, you lost both your legs. It's super traumatic when you can't do the things that you normally would have been able to do.
Yep.
There's like a certain level of trauma where you feel like you could have done something, but you just can't. And it's like a very deep-rooted kind of emotion. And I feel like that's what Aqua has. It's like a very deep-rooted, I could have done something. But even though everyone else is like, you're literally a 3-year-old, we wouldn't expect you to do anything.
Yeah. No, but he carries it from the previous life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something specific about like being in the health industry as well. Like yeah, that kind of relationship we have with patients.
Yeah. It's something I would hope most health professionals will want to do good for their patients. Like they always want their patients to be better or want to help their patients.
Yeah.
And that's why like doctors who can deal with like terminal cancer patients, they have a very strong will to be able to handle that kind of stress.
Yeah. Tommy is mentioning the scene where he's literally confronted by the phantom of his previous life. Yes, with that super creepy voice. I think he's really feeling the disconnect now. Good point. Yeah. That's the first time we've heard that voice pop up. Is it?
I'm not sure. Maybe, yeah.
It would, if it was the first time, then yes, it would mark that split within him. Like, obviously he's got his own much stronger identity now that he is 16, going on to 17.
Yes.
He's got his own life. He's got his friends. More distance from the events of his childhood and his previous life.
Yeah.
And so,
I think it was mentioned in season 1. So there was, I distinctly remembered that chapter when I read it because he was playing baseball with Kana, and he meant it was one of those things where you go, it's very common for the reincarnation trope, like, or the isekai trope where the same character will just get put into a different body and they are still the same character. But I remember reading that chapter and it clearly it's like Aqua is like feeling like there's actually 2 separate identities now. Like he is actually like, where does he draw the line where am I still the doctor from the past or am I Hoshino Aqua? Like where do we draw that line? And he was kind of diving into more, I feel like I'm slowly becoming more and more Aqua rather than the doctor, because I think I vaguely remember him talking about because of childhood amnesia where you lose a lot of your childhood memories. He's also lost a lot of his memories of being a doctor. Like only the core things stuck, but his experiences are being replaced by his experiences as Aqua. And so he develops into who he is now because of his experiences as Aqua.
Ah, okay. So I was kind of just thinking what No Name just said, which is, so there's a suggestion that that voice is actually the voice of the doctor, but only the parts that were stuck on the guilt and the self-loathing for having failed to save Ai. And it's kind of, that's the only part that's left in Aqua at the moment. And it's sort of manifesting as this dark shadow. Okay. Yeah.
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 I can.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's probably true too. I wonder if Ruby has something similar. I mean, we haven't seen much of Ruby yet. At the moment, we're diving into Aqua.
Ruby's previous. Oh,
she was the cancer
right,
patient.
But she didn't have that personal connection to Ai.
She did. I mean, she was a fan.
Right, but not like in terms of like, you know, Aqua.
Like, yeah. Slightly, it's like slightly different role. Tommy says the Phantom says something like, "You don't deserve to have fun," which I think ties his past life as a doctor to his inability to let go of the trauma. Yeah, it's definitely that guilt, and I think that's probably also why he struggles with acting. It's like he can't let go and enjoy acting, as you know.
Yeah,
he just can't, because the moment he enjoys it, it's like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you enjoy this? How dare you enjoy your life when you can't even save the one person that gave birth to you in this life, I guess.
That actually reminds me of the importance of, you know, certain professions who deal with very heavy stuff with their clients. The importance of actually the availability of ongoing counseling.
Grief counseling.
Yes, because so like in a past professional life, like I was working in an industry, so I'd be working with lawyers who deal with cases of child like trauma, you know, traumatic child clients basically, and one of the toughest sort of fields to be working in, and you don't always win in court, or you don't always, like, it's just such a hard system to have to work. And so the organization that I worked for definitely constantly reinforced the importance of, if you're feeling like guilt or any sort of negative emotions related to your work or your casework because you lost a case or whatever, or because you weren't able to protect a child, immediately seek a counselor. Like they had these specialist counselors that were always available to talk to the lawyers. Otherwise, you just go freaking insane, like with the guilt, like just with yeah. So yeah, that's actually that actually touches something really deep. The importance of professional therapy for professionals who sort of work in these industries, you know. Yeah.
From my understanding is that Japan's mental health acknowledgement is probably still, I mean, it's probably like most Asian countries, is not.
Yeah, I would say across
at the same
a lot of
standard.
Asian countries. Yeah.
It's like not a thing. Not so much not a thing, only like very severe cases. And if he hides it well, they probably just go, oh yeah, it's not a problem. He's still functioning, so therefore he's fine.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's ongoing work. Yeah.
It's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. Did anything else stick out in this episode before we move to episode 5?
Well, I mean, we had a great first half where it's like, oh yeah, the script got resolved, and then immediately we dive into like, yep, Aqua PTSD coming back. But I was gonna say that I think a lot of his character is explained through his PTSD, right? It's like why he keeps such a distance with other people, why he feels like he needs to manipulate other people. It's like, it's all because he's also learned from I as well, right? Because he watched how I did it. I was also very similar in keeping distance. But then on top of that, there's a trauma and that motivates him for the revenge.
And
it's just like, yeah.
No, you keep going.
Oh, I was just saying that there's so many complex factors that make him interesting, in my opinion. I think it's interesting.
I agree. Yeah. And why he says he can't do emotional acting, because if he digs even just a little bit below the surface, he knows that it'll just bring up all this stuff. And he, you know, gets panic attacks. Like yeah, he's pretty much suppressing all of his emotions to contain it so that he can just completely be motivated in his like goal for revenge. Because I feel like because he suppressed it so much that he will just break. The moment he is emotional, he will break. He'll probably have like a psychotic breakdown or something. So sad.
It's like, wait.
Oh, we started off on such a good note. Now we're just talking about depression and lack of therapy.
No Name says, if Kana ever learns the truth about Aqua's mom, she's going to remember this day and cringe her soul
Just
out.
remember how your mom died.
Yeah. I thought he was going to lose it then. Like, I honestly thought he was going to lose it then. And he kind of like kept it in. And then the second part where he was like, I'll think of something happy. And then it was like, oh shit.
No, he has godlike discipline, which is very bad, like long-term health-wise, but, you know, short-term, just keep it all in until you explode.
Yeah.
I did want to... we both was like...
Oh, sorry.
Did you have something else to say on this? Because I'm going to jump to a completely, like, different note
I was going to ask, what were your thoughts about Akane's eyes having the stars?
Oh, okay, yeah. So it happened when she went into a trance mode, or her like Sherlock Holmes like mind palace mode, where she picks out all the different pieces and she just locks them in together to form one coherent story. And she puts herself, I think that's when the stars come out, is like when she is in her zone doing the thing that her brain was born to do, which I think is very impressive. But also she was able to, because when she does that, what she's doing is she's putting herself into the shoes of the person that she's analyzing, which is why she's just broke down, because she figured it out. And then not only did she figure it out, but she also put herself in Aqua's shoes. Which is why she's willing to be the girlfriend that he never wants, because she's like, I don't care if you don't want me. I just want to be there for you, because I feel so much for you now that I've put together all of these bits and pieces that now make sense and that build this incredibly tragic story that I will never be able to understand Yeah, but I want to be there. Yeah. So that I thought that was like starry eye Kana. No, not Kana. Sorry, not your fave. Akane.
Akane.
Yeah, and she's just a big empath, which I feel really bad for because I feel like empaths, they have such a hard time.
They take on board everyone else's problems as well as their own. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I was going to say, not my idea, but I remember reading someone's comments when kind of like when people were analyzing why certain characters have stars. And so we talk about like who actually have stars in their eyes. We have Hoshino Eye, we have Aqua, Ruby, and then
just
Akane.
one eye though, Aqua, right? Just one eye.
Yeah, one. They
Whereas
each have
Akane
Ruby
had
and Aqua.
two.
Two.
Yeah.
So the commenter mentioned like it's like they speculated it's like how much of those eyes are related to their how much they lie regarding their identity, right? Because remember how Akane, when she was in the reality TV show, right? She didn't have eyes until she started imitating Eye.
Yes.
And Aqua and Ruby only has one because they embody basically two people, which is like their new self. They should be a baby growing up with new experiences, but also carrying like this identity of the past, right? And they're pretty much not letting people know of this identity. And a Hoshino Eye is pretty much lying to everyone because the whole concept of her is like she lies for her fans. She lies for love. She lies for everything. Everything is a lie. Yeah. And so when you mentioned that, I was like, I wonder if this is like when she does all this analysis because she's basically losing her identity because she does method acting, right? Which is like you basically put yourself into other people's shoes and basically embody that character. You basically lose yourself. You don't have any of your identity anymore to become a different character.
Okay.
And so maybe like when she starts analyzing it's because she's actually becoming that person to think in the way that they would think.
I don't see that as because some people could take that as a negative, be like, oh, she's losing herself in order to embody other people. But it's actually, I don't have to do that if you want to be,
if you know how to
reach a certain level
it.
of acting. Yeah, like if you can get out of it immediately. Like, and she lost, like she loses her stars the second she is present as herself. Yeah. So that was really interesting. Okay.
Like Akane is probably like the ideal version of that, right? It's like she can act as someone else, like fully embody, but also be able to revert back to who she actually is.
Yeah.
Whereas Aqua and Ruby never lose their stars in their eyes, and neither did Hoshino Eye.
Yeah.
Like they've always had it. It's like they haven't been able to not let go of this identity that they can't show other people.
And then you have someone like Melt, who will never have eyes.
Yeah.
Basic. Come on, Melt.
Just basic. This is the basic guy. He's just trying his best at not ruining the show. He'll probably ruin the show.
Do you think you made the point that the TV actors, they're the ones who are kind of like stressing over the whole stage play thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that was sort of the last note that I had. That's really what we're talking about, is the transition from either TV to stage and vice versa is incredible. They're almost two different. I mean, they are two different mediums, but also in terms of acting technique and how you present yourself, how you project emotion is night and day, such that if you bring one method to the other, it just completely doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And I did mention Lin-Manuel Miranda, not because he's not talented. He's incredibly talented, obviously, on stage. But what was that TV show? It wasn't a Netflix series. I think it was on Prime. Some TV series that he appeared on, which I didn't watch, but I just read a lot of, feedback / criticism that he because he's so used to projecting his emotions, like amplifying it for a stage in a big theater.
Yep.
And he didn't dial that back down for the TV screen, that it came across as
too much.
Just over the top and not genuine.
Over dramatic.
Yeah. So obviously you have like these close-ups for TV screens, and it's very different emotional setups.
Yeah.
And I also thought that was interesting. It's like, oh yeah, that's actually a real thing that people notice.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, like there's a lot more subtlety because you can, and I guess a lot more editing as well. I feel like film, a lot of it can come from the way you direct, the cinematography, how close of a shot. You know, you can go all the way up to their face, and there's a lot more subtle acting. Whereas a play is like, a play is like the person sitting on the last row still need to be able to understand what the hell's going on in the play. So you need to like project with your voice and your body, right? So it's completely different.
Yeah, that was cool.
Last thing before we move on.
Yes.
The script, because we're talking about like the changes, right? They're just like, let's cut this, let's cut this, cut. Yeah, cool. One of the subtle points that I think they did well, I think we talked a lot about good adaptations and versus bad adaptations in like the past 3 episodes. But one of the main points that she had is that you can change how things play out as long as the core character is the same, right? It's like the certain characteristics or how they learned something about a certain character. That event needs to happen, but it doesn't matter where it happens and how it happens. It just needs to happen, right? It's that consistency with the character that's important.
Yes.
I feel like most adaptations, if they do it poorly, it's probably because they did not understand the character. They're just like, oh, this scene, play it out. And so we're going to cut out some of the other scenes but to emphasize on, because this is the most emotional scene. So we need to put in this scene, but not realize why the scene is emotional. It's because of all of the context, all of these other subtle scenes with character development, character interaction, those interpersonal relationships that build up to why this emotional scene is emotional. But sometimes adaptations, they don't, like writers don't understand it.
I mean, the plot becomes primary. Like they know you have to hit this, and this milestone.
Yeah.
But it's,
but
it's sort of like that's not the thing that comes first. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is hard. I'm not saying that it's easy to do, but I think as a person who is in audience, it's like, well, that's one of the things you would look for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 5?
Yep.
We're good to go. Episode 5 in 3, 2, 1, play. All right. You know what? With the piano chord, I love the heavy piano chords, like going the boom, 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 and then you have the really light, fluttery runs at the top. Kind of very, what's the word? Split personality in terms of the piano. Which is actually really cool. Yeah, since we're talking about like literally split personality.
Like, I wonder if Aqua and Ruby will ever have like both stars, like 2 stars in their eyes. Or what if they don't have it anymore, right?
It'll be one of those you can decide. Like, up in the air conclusions.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're still... No, the manga's finished?
No, it's not finished.
Okay, still going. Okay.
Still going.
I'm just like, how do you finish this kind of story? Like, do you write an ending that will please people or leave people with a bitter taste in their mouth,
Who knows?
Ah, and she cooks too. Oh my
This is
god. Aqua, you
perfect
need to lock
waifu.
her down now.
I thought you were gonna say she deserves better.
She does, but also from if I was Aqua,
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
would get a
fair.
therapist, get Akane.
Yep. No.
Oh no, I don't want her to do the whole saving thing though.
I can fix him, girl.
Oh
Oh no, it's
no.
the I can fix him.
The heart and tongue. Just change her personality.
Become somebody special like Lena.
Yeah. Whoa. Is he testing her? Do you really want to be my girlfriend?
Baby. Oh,
Oh my god.
you
Okay,
still want her
I
as your
take that
wife?
back. I take all of what I said about kind of back. No, no, not a healthy relationship. Oh my god. Oh, there's music. I should have listened to the music. The music
We
was
can go back
totally
later.
going like, this girl is gonna kill with you. You know what? It gives
Mm,
her depth. She's not just
mm,
a good girl.
yeah. The tongue. But how much of it is repayment for him helping her during
Yeah.
the
A
suicidal
lot of
arc?
it, and
Yeah.
she was clearly meaning kill professionally, right?
Don't know. With those eyes, I don't know.
Okay, maybe this is sort of like exposure therapy, I guess, for him.
Mm,
Practicing how to get in touch with emotions.
mm. The way she just skirted over.
Yes, surely Akane was just getting into the roleplay. I don't know. What is tact?
Oh no.
Let's have the talk.
The birds and the bees. Melt
Wow.
space.
This is sorry, it's such a different direction. Oh, she'd kill him. Everyone is actually a murderer. Like all of them.
Everyone, they all have some sort of trauma.
Just for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wait, who that?
Hmm?
Who's that?
He's one of the actors.
Why do I get bad vibes? I'm totally on Melt's side. I'm sorry I called you basic.
At least he has some sense of morals.
Yeah. He's got ambition too.
Yeah. Ruby.
Oh, she's got good, like, idol mates.
Yep.
Protect.
It's one of the things I like about the author of Oshinoko. It's like he'll still show these bad behaviors, but also have characters that'll be like, yeah, this is shit.
Yeah. Like a
Remind
counter
you.
force.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were going to go down that path, like, of, exploitation, like all the shit that happens with young actors.
Yeah. I do love both of them together. The squeaky sound.
She's so bad.
She's such an ass. Her voice. So good.
Oh no, these capsicums in the back.
Bell peppers. Or it's one of her ads. One of her like really big
Okay.
ads from when she's a child.
The mystery deepens.
Yeah.
Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh. Ah.
Yeah.
The murder look again.
Yeah.
Confirmed murderer. That's 4 of them so far. What would you call that weapon? Like a
Machete?
machete with really razor sharp edges.
Yeah.
And then like Akane's got the really elegant double swords.
Katana, right, yeah.
Yeah, and the machete's like just so
Mm.
blunt.
Mm.
Ooh, physical fight to mirror like internal
Yeah.
philosophical fight. Nice.
Ooh,
Wow.
nice. That's so cool.
Dun, dun. Oh, and we're back. Yeah, that was great. Ah, scriptwriter Kun. Genuinely a nice guy.
Yeah. Who's the kid?
I always wondered how young is she meant to be? Like
I'm assuming
early mid 20s?
early 20s, maybe?
Mm. Mm.
It's so grey.
No. I want good Akane.
Oh,
Oh god, we're back. We're back.
oh, oh, oh shit.
Oh, it is the glasses guy. I didn't even notice
Oh,
that
you didn't
before.
see it.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't see the glasses
No,
before.
no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. It was. I thought it was obvious. So I didn't mention it.
No, because I wear glasses and that means I'm pretty much blind. So no, I saw it that time. Ooh.
Ooh.
A filled in star. Oh no, we have to go to the next episode. Ugh. I mean, lucky we are. I would have died. I
Yeah.
would have just gone on.
Be like, no. When, at least we don't have to wait a week.
Ah, man.
I mean, before we move on, was there anything
Yes,
in particular?
I want to hone in on this Akane versus Kana situation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all knew that it wasn't just because, you know, Kana loves Aqua and hates seeing him spend all his time with Akane. It's interestingly because at a very deep level, at least from Kana's perspective,
Yeah.
and I assume it's vice versa as well, it's because of their acting
Yes.
styles, the yawning gap between how they interpret how one should be an actor, which as actors is probably the thing that gets to the most core of their soul, I guess, you know, because they're both so passionate about the craft. I guess I was just trying to understand what Kana was saying about Akane's philosophy towards acting, because she described it as, with Akane, there's a right way to act and a wrong way to act, and she clearly thinks I'm doing it the wrong way, and I was like,
Yes.
oh, how? I guess I'm trying to practically, how does that work? Like, is it the whole like stage acting versus screen acting, or yeah, I don't really know because I'm not an actor. I don't really know how.
I
The ins
don't.
and outs of that, you know?
Yeah, I think they have subtly hinted at how Kana acts, but I feel like I have prior knowledge, so I can't answer that because I've read the
Oh,
manga.
okay.
So they do explain it. So I
Right,
can only
okay.
say that they do explain it. So it's like I know the answer, but I can't discuss it with you because I know the
Oh, that's
answer.
fine. No, I just thought I'd just point it because I thought that was a really intriguing point of difference and
Yeah.
the source of their conflict, really.
Mm.
But also, I feel to some extent they enjoy the competition, like, because
Yes.
it only matters because it's so high stakes, right? You know,
Yeah.
if you didn't care at all about it, or if it didn't matter, then you wouldn't care so much. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be interested to see how they flesh
Like,
that out more.
wouldn't like you will also kind of like respect the other person's opinion. That's why you want them to acknowledge you, right? Acknowledge that you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Even though they're like at each other's throats, they probably still respect each other's craft. Even though they don't
Yes.
believe that it's right, they respect the other person enough to be like, because if they didn't, it would just be like, well, you're doing it wrong, you're just like a small fry, why do I care about you?
Exactly.
But that they care enough to be like, no, I'm gonna prove to you that you're wrong.
Yeah. I guess maybe I can try. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just wait. I'll just wait to see how that pans out because I guess I'm trying to relate it back to. I don't know. Is there any schism in terms of musical, like music artists? You know, where it's like.
You have to do things a certain way, or...
Right, like there's certain, I mean, in classical music, Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of schisms in terms of the performance of pieces. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know if it goes to the extent of like I want to kill them, but in terms of the performance of these seminal classical pieces like Bach or Brahms or Beethoven or whatever, um,
Mm.
there's always that constant clash between those who perform it the way that it was intended to be performed, like
Mm.
in terms of the structure that was existing in the 18th century, late 17th, early 18th century, and sort of
Mm.
being having fidelity to that and like perfecting that, like considering the perfection of that old traditional model as the piece in its truest form. I don't know if I'm like
Yeah.
making any sense. Versus sort of the more modern takes on these very old pieces. And,
Mm.
you know, like not remixes, but yeah, sometimes remixes. You know, you'll hear certain
Mm.
performers of a certain piece really flex the way in which a piece is performed. And because these pieces are so old and so
Mm.
beloved by a
Yep.
huge community who are so passionate and have such strong views about whether you should do it this way or that way, then it's like that's when you get sort of maybe a similar explosive fireworks and conflict.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I
I guess I
wonder
can rate it in that way. But yeah.
I wonder if a better analogy, not a better analogy, a different analogy would be like classical music to like jazz, where it's like classical music, it's, I mean, I'm not saying it's rigid, but it's like a more, isn't jazz a bit more improv-y, has,
Yeah,
yeah.
but the thing is with jazz, you come to
Mm.
jazz knowing that it's meant to be improv heavy and
Mm. But,
flexible. Whereas I feel like the conflict, the real like
mm,
passionate conflict comes within classical music. I mean, from my perspective,
okay.
I feel like when you're trying to reinterpret a
Mm.
piece that
Yeah.
literally everyone in that world knows, and you do it in
Okay.
a way that's modern or, you know,
Mm.
reinterpretation,
Yep.
that's, I feel like, where the controversy arises. It's because,
It's like, do you go for the true,
yeah, and
how
then,
they intended,
right,
or do you have
yeah.
a
And then it goes into what is the true
in,
expression of
mm,
this piece.
yeah.
Whereas with like between, I feel like the conflict between classical and jazz is overhyped because you come to
Mm.
those different, are just totally separate genres with certain expectations that they are different. Yeah.
I guess so. Maybe it's just because I know at least two people who basically hate jazz because they they like classical music. They basically, that's what they said.
I don't
They
understand that.
prefer classical music, and they're just like, they basically hate the, like you said, flexibility of jazz not being how it's supposed to be. It's just like, why?
I'm sure that's like very personal. I mean, personally, I don't understand why you can't have both. I think it's, if let's talk about apple pie. Like it's more like apple pie is classic, right? The
Mm.
conflict is not between, oh, is apple pie better or is meat pie better? It's kind of like, or whatever other pie, you know, savory pies. They're kind of
Mm.
different. Whereas real conflict arises where it's like you have people who do apple pie the traditional way, like apple pie with vanilla ice cream. And then you have some
Mm.
modernist upstart coming along and be like, no, we should have apple pie with like, what's something ridiculous? Capsicum
But
sauce, you know,
but I
and
feel
it's like
like
the, ugh, like, why would you do that? But
But I feel like
yeah.
in the acting case, though, it's like, I feel like it's just a different method of acting, right? Because Akane does method acting, right? She basically studies the character to embody the character, but not every actor's like that. That like
What's
Aqua, he
Kana's
does mimic.
style then? I feel like we haven't,
We
maybe we
haven't
have, we haven't.
kind of we. It's not explicit until this arc. It was,
Okay.
yeah, like I can't explain further because this arc will kind of
Yep,
dive
no,
more
that's
into
fine.
it.
I'm happy with that. I was just intriguing
Yeah.
conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like it is comparing, you know, meat pie to apple pie because I feel like they're both pies, but they're just different things. Like there's just different ways, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
And
I
I
see
feel
that.
like they're both acceptable. It's not the same thing, and then there's different versions. I feel like it's just Aqua's acting is like mimicking, right? He's like replicating. Akane is method acting. He's completely diving into it.
Mm.
And I'm sure there's multiple other. I mean, I don't know enough about acting, but I'm sure there's different styles of acting as well that are all acceptable. It's just the end product. Like, what does the end product look like? Is it acceptable? Sure. But how you get there, it's just different people have different ways that they know that they can produce a good result.
Yeah.
But I think their conflict is probably more like, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I know. I love watching the fireworks. Love it.
There was one part where you were like, you want to go back to listen to the music when Akane had the very scary eyes.
Oh, the murder eyes. We
Yeah.
saw so many pairs of murder eyes. It wasn't just Akane in this episode. Well, I kind of wanted to talk about that while I go back. When okay, this whole conversation about how she would support Aqua in his planned murder attempt.
4:55 is probably where it is.
Okay.
Tell me when you're starting so I can play at the same time.
Oh, 4:55.
Roundabout is when Aqua's like, what would you do if I say I'm gonna kill someone? Or something like that.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, play. I mean, there's nothing, it's really just murder music, really. Like, did you hear that
Creepy.
slice? I don't know how to explain it. Just horror music, basically. But I did notice something about her eyes. They don't turn into stars, but it's like galaxy eyes.
You mean when it goes back to normal?
Right, it goes from normal to 508 where she blinks and then it's galaxy eyes. So it's not individual star eyes, but galaxy eyes. Oh. Did you notice that?
With the black hole, you mean?
Yeah, so the black hole is like the iris, and then around the iris is like galaxy. It's little tiny dots of stars, like from far away. The expression is extremely haunting. I don't know what that means. Like it's...
I don't know either.
Yeah. But
it's creepy.
This whole conversation... Look, I'm pretty sure she doesn't mean physically offing someone. Because he sets it up in the terms of within the entertainment industry. I think the framework that we're working in, this is just me coping because I really like kind of. The framework is he wants to bring someone, like take over someone, like outshine someone in the entertainment industry, and she wants to support him to do that, which is fair because she's his acting partner now.
You mean you think that she thinks that he is just wanting to?
Am I talking really fast? It's like all these excuses for kind of. But I feel, having said that though, the way that they've developed a character up until this point, I'm so impressed because I actually think that given the size of her ambition, plus the way that she can lose herself in a character, if she really thought or believed that by actually murdering someone, she could help her or Aqua like progress in the industry, I think she might actually, if not do it, think about doing it. And that's already scary enough for me. Like she's
willing to risk everything for Aqua in a way.
Yes. And because I feel like she sees their fates as tied together now. And so whatever's good for Aqua is good for her. And so she's like, sure, if that's what you really want to do, tear someone down, I'm going to help you do it. Like, I'll be there handing you the knife.
She is the I can fix him girlfriend. I will, right? She's just like, oh, I can help.
Yes.
I can help him do everything.
But also, don't you feel like she also sees him as a kind of a lifeboat as well? Like, she's like,
a savior, right?
Yeah,
like,
he could
is her
also
savior.
save me. Yeah.
Well, he did save her. And I think this is the repayment, right? Kind of like immense gratefulness for what he's done for her.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's going into scary, potentially unhealthy territory. I don't know yet. Like,
I feel like it was always unhealthy. It was always unhealthy, right?
No.
Yeah, because it was always Aqua taking advantage of her capabilities, right?
But then it equalized, don't you think? Like, it became more of an open communication, and she helped him as well. And she's pulling him up in terms of his acting.
Yeah.
And seeing
I think he's starting
theater.
to open more, but season 1 was definitely him just thinking that he'll get away with just like kind of keeping her by his side to make use of her ability to kind of dig deeper into the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
It's like, well, now she's indebted to me. I can make use of her. But also, knowing Aqua, he's probably also really nice and don't want her to. But also having that, it's like that duality of Aqua being Aqua the teenager and Aqua the vengeful doctor who cannot let go of his guilt. It's like basically two sides torn between him, and he's like trying to balance that.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I feel like, so previously it was more Aqua being the manipulative one. Yeah. I feel like I kind of can totally meet him in that sphere. Like, I don't know, there's something about her that kind of scares me. Like,
I mean, she's very she can do a lot.
Hey, laddie. Yay, you made it. She's more that I can be broken with him girlfriend. Yeah. Or even like I don't know, even I feel like she, if given the right context, could also be the one like whispering in his ears to stab him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even supporting, like more like egging him on, which I feel like could be bad. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. We will see what kind of girlfriend she becomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's way more committed to him than he is to her. Okay, there is also that aspect too. Yes. Yeah. That is true. Yeah. Any other thoughts, guys?
Because she actually wants the relationship, but Aqua is like, this is just a business relationship.
Or maybe he doesn't know what he wants. He's figuring that out, right? I don't know. Well,
I think there's also the part of him probably still holding on to the it's again brought up in that baseball scene where he was like, am I allowed to date people my age because am I the doctor or am I Aqua the teenager? And that was one of the things that was blurring the lines, where he was just like, who am I? Can I date someone who is, you know, he is 30 or something in his past life, but he is also now Aqua the teenager, growing up as a, you know, in this new body with a new brain with new experiences. And so it probably still is difficult to come to terms with, like, can I date someone who is also a teenager, even though, you know, probably still, again, it's like that guilt inside him, the doctor inside him that's like, nope, how dare you have fun, right? It's like, you're not allowed to date. Also morally probably really weird.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shall we head on to the next one?
Yeah.
The stage play. Also, Tommy, I caught that comment about glasses wearing people. Excuse me.
Laddie's like the class teacher reaching over your shoulder to guide your hand so you draw it right, except it's Akane guiding the knife in right.
I love it. I'd have to say I love that they're adding so many layers to her. Like she really is like one of their main characters, like actual main characters of the season. Yeah. Cool.
And they're establishing her rivalry with Kana. Like they also have a history together.
But it's not like, I love that it's not petty rivalry. Like it's actually reaches to the core of something that really matters to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I mean, it appears petty, but then you dive deeper. It's like, actually, no, it's a bit further than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Home stretch, episode 6. If you guys are ready. Ready. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Play.
You didn't say play. I was like, wait, do I press?
Oh, sorry. Are we good?
I was like 3, 2, 1, and then it was like silence.
Oh, sorry. I'm just picking up cues from Oshi.com. The use of silence can be golden.
Okay,
even more impactful. Do we need to do it again, guys? Or do we need to sync again? Is it okay?
I'll just be a few seconds behind. It's fine.
No. Wait, let me pause at 34. We'll do this again. We're not ready for silence. 34. Okay, sorry guys.
Starting at 34?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay. Now I know when to press.
Man, whenever Aqua gets those traumatic flashbacks and like the full-on red shade that he's soaked in, yeah, that's really that's hard.
It's visually presented so well. Like this adaptation, they've stellar job in translating what was shown in the manga into
Yes, and even like the effects of when they change into their characters before walking out on stage. I wanted to ask later manga people how that came across.
I'll have to reread the chapter because I don't remember that happening. I think that might be additional from the anime.
Tush, 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 tush. Come on, Melt. You can do it. You can get your starry eyes.
That's the joke.
Ooh. Wow, we're spending a lot of time on this character intro.
Yeah.
Ah,
I kind
Akane's
of.
music. Just a step above the rest.
I do like we're keeping the same shot. Like we're sitting in the audience
Mm-hmm.
watching a play. I know, it changed their mind. I thought we are gonna experience the whole
Jinxed
thing and
it.
like I
Yeah,
jinxed
same.
it.
Yeah, I'm hoping in the play is the episode. Crazy as.
Guys, yeah. The sound effect.
Said Akane for Aqua.
I mean, he's not doing half bad.
Hmm.
It's better than Sweet Today, right? Sweet Today, he was like very. Kudos to the voice actor for Mel acting the way he was in Sweet Today. Amazing.
The screen's so cool.
Mm. Man, I want to be in one. Like, I want to like watch one in real life. See if it's just as cool. Glasses guy.
Oh, I love this.
End of Act 1. Oh. Intermission?
Yeah, they really given the full theater audience experience.
Mm.
Yeah. And we're sitting in the back with all the important people.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh
Come on.
no. Mm.
That's cool.
Oh no.
I mean,
No, he's my son. Ugh.
it's all luck.
Mm. No. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Akko with his like 40 advice. 40
Yeah.
chess.
Yeah.
Nice. Stuntman.
Yeah.
Ooh. True. True, true, true.
Mm-hmm.
Same with music.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Whoa.
Oh, interesting. That's
Whoa.
so cool. Whoa.
Whoa. Like very paint style.
He's trying
I mean,
to
went through
get. Is
multiple
he gonna get
styles.
the star? That's what we were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah.
Ooh. Art.
It's like reborn, I guess. Like,
Yeah. Dying.
yeah.
Of resurrecting as this. The
As someone
baptism.
different.
He got the silence.
Nice.
He got her too. Whoa.
Damn.
Yep. You gotta bleed for it to be fun. Whoa.
Nice. Yay, Mel. And can we go back and watch that again? I feel like
Sure. Was it heavy in symbolism?
yeah. Like I felt like I need to pause frame by frame
Okay.
to experience it.
Just when it starts getting weird and abstract.
Yeah.
Oh.
How are these episodes so short? I know, right? It just flew by.
Okay. This is
Where
when
is
it
it?
goes into like the impressionist art stuff.
Yeah.
I'm on 2134.
Okay.
Oh, wait. What did you guys think? This adaptation has been so good. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing.
Wait, what did Laddie say? I love how they added all the expressiveness to the manga author only when she is talking about the manga. Ah, that's true. Every other time, she's kind of like jaded adult. Okay.
Wait, which manga author are we talking about? The younger one or the mentor?
Son, the one who's judging Melt. The one who's like, ugh, totally written him off. Right?
Yeah, like why? It's like, why would you even cast him?
I was not expecting Melt's struggle to be interspersed within the theatre play like that. That was very unexpected. Yes.
Very unexpected, right? Yeah. I remember reading the manga chapter and it was so amazing. It was just like one of those side characters that you kind of just like written off from the earlier arcs. It's like, yeah, we're never going to see him again, right? And then he comes back for this arc. It's like, okay, but he's still a trash actor. Of how much better can he do? Like, I felt like the audience also was in the shoes of everyone else, like, oh, we've already seen how bad he was in the first, that Sweet Today arc.
They came with their own expectations.
Yeah.
Low expectations.
Low expectation. Yeah. So when I read this chapter, it was like, holy shit, it's so good.
And he is kind of like a minor character, right? Like,
yeah, he's a minor character.
But they still gave him this I guess development, which is actually really cool for a show as a whole. Yeah. Oh, Laddie meant both. Both. Okay.
I mean, isn't that just what people with very special interests are like? It's like the moment you talk about their special interests, like eyes just light up. I was like, let me talk about this for like the whole day to you. Yeah. I will talk at you for like the whole day.
Did we want to do this frame by frame? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abstract time.
It's so cool. It just like flew over, but man.
Goes into, I don't know what that was, like abstract planetary art. I don't know. What? Okay. Wait. I'll bring that thing up later after this. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's looking at himself. That's the sweet thing, right? No.
So that's, I guess that's how he was prior.
Oh, okay. His like,
right, like
cute
basically
boy act.
his model. Like how he was prior to acting Sweet Today, right? He was just like everything was given to him on the silver platter. He didn't have to try for anything.
Okay, so obviously just drinking in all of the adoration from a Sweet Today, but totally based on. Well, actually, you get both ends of the stick, right? Like some people are like, "Oh, you're so hot," and then the other side is, "Yeah, he's hot. That's the point. He has nothing else going for him."
Yeah. There's nothing else that you can comment on, right?
Yeah. Okay. Idol life. Yep. I've seen that so many times in the K-pop scene with like that bucket hat and the mask that everyone somehow finds out that you're at the airport and they just rush you.
Surround you anyway.
Okay. Crazy girls. Why is there a band-aid, a ripped band-aid in the top left corner there? 2144.
No idea.
It seems like it's been ripped off from that girl. I don't know.
Oh, let me go back a little bit.
Please rip my band-aid off. Crazy fans. I don't know. Who are we to explain crazy girl fans?
I think this is the background, isn't it? The band-aid is just floating in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just, but why? Why is it there?
Don't know. Then knocked out. And then this is the weird. The next one is the super weird.
Oshi would.
I can't say what.
Like
she would. Like Hollywood, but Oshi Versal. Look at the top. Oshi
Oh
Versal.
yeah, this is like sort of a play on Times Square. Just ultimate stardom, flashiness.
Yeah. Or I guess maybe it's so cartoony, like, or like childlike, because his view on himself is so childlike, right?
Or maybe even just his whole career. Like it's not really substantial or not based on actual talent. It's just very superficial and
fantastical,
glossy.
almost. Like,
yeah,
he is thinking himself being like a celebrity in Hollywood, but it's such a, such a childlike thought. Like, he is literally a child being like, oh yeah, of course I'm this supermodel that can get all these jobs and everyone loves me.
Kind of like coasting, like yeah, and was able to get away with it for a time.
Wait, there's some comments. In a sense, his position as a side character in Oshinoko parallels him in Tokyo Blade.
Yeah.
And even about the audience having their guard down, no one was expecting his improvement to hit such an emotional note. Yeah.
Which is why he was able to embody the emotions of that character, because it is him. It is his real life. Yeah.
And I think it's great that the author understands that to be able to portray that in a character that can present that notion of, you know how sometimes a show can be really bad, but then they land the ending so well that you feel like, yeah, that's a great show, even though everything else was like mediocre. But because everything landed really well, it was like, all right, I will give you bonus points.
Yeah. What? Where's the pterodactyl? Oh, there's a pterodactyl. I'm just like, spot all of the weird random things.
Weird, yeah.
Robot dude.
I wonder why he falls into the green screen. That is a very
why
particular green. It's like, the green that you filter out when you stream, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's the green screen. So everything like the fantastical world is stripped away. Like, it's fake, and it becomes the green screen. And it's kind of like you have nothing to hide behind anymore. I don't know. Like,
I would say green screens are usually used for when you're creating something that's
not real.
Like a computer generator, right? Yeah, you filter out the green and you put something that's computer generated. So it's showing all of that is basically not real, is in his head.
Yeah, he has no place amongst his actual talent, like who have worked, like actually honed their craft, whereas he's just kind of the only one.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like, ooh, that was cool. The other thing, I guess, going back to Tommy's point about how everything that happens to his character on Tokyo Blade is reflective of what's going on in his actual life. It kind of shocked me that he's doing the opposite of what Akane does. So Akane loses herself in order to inhabit another character and to fully express them. And there's none of her in that character. Or maybe there is, I don't know. But she goes into that zone where she becomes not Akane. Whereas like with Melt, the only way that he could tap into that emotion was to be himself, and to really dig into for months and months and months. I don't know how long it was that he took Aqua's advice, like a month or something. I don't know. It was a long time to hone into his feelings as that character and as himself. Yeah, same guy. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, like the difference between again just different ways of drawing out the emotion from within yourself. Yeah, that was cool.
Isn't that kind of how Kana acts though? Because remember the advice that Kana gave Aqua is that, well, imagine if you were, how would you feel? And he's using this related. I feel like Akane is more like, because she's so empathetic, right? She just understands like kind of like just jump straight into their shoes, but that's not something that everyone has, right? They kind of have to understand how they personally will feel and kind of try and reach out to a different character to be like, okay, well, I feel like this, so I would imagine they would also feel like this. Whereas Akane is kind of special in that way where she removes her identity entirely and just embodies that character.
Yeah. So maybe like the philosophical gap between Akane and Kana is, do you think Kana's problem with her is that she doesn't draw from her own experiences? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
We will find out.
We'll see.
Next time.
Should we keep going with this frame to frame thing? Are you okay?
Yeah,
Are you good
yeah.
to go? All right. So,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah.
And
Next.
then, what is that? Like a tear in the
Pa-
green? Oh, the screen. Like he's just like breaking
screen.
the screen.
Yeah, he broke the screen.
Yep.
Is that paper though? Like, what is?
Well,
the
I mean,
white?
usually green screens, sometimes they can just be paper, right? I mean, not
Cloth
paper,
or-
but like cloth, something breakable. To me, that's kind of like he doesn't have that green screen as a barrier anymore. Like he can't depend on all the flashy stuff to hide the fact that he has no talent, or much less talent, I guess.
Yeah, or his
reading.
It's the what's that thing? Dunning-Kruger effect. Right? He thinks that he's so strong, but he's actually just an amateur.
I mean, did he know that he was? He only figured out that he was comparatively less talented when he came on this theatre production.
No, he figured it out when he was on Sweet Today and Aqua.
Yeah.
That's why there was one part like earlier where
and Kana,
yeah, and he keeps watching that episode. Like he keeps watching Sweet Today, being like, "Was my acting always this crap?" Yeah, I sucked. I didn't realize that I sucked so much until I watched two professionals actually act at their level and not dumb. Like there was one part where he was like, the other actors were going down to his level, because if you remember the Sweet Today arc, Kana does a thing where if she acted the way she normally would, she would just stand out way too much and actually shine on the other actors who aren't great at acting.
Yep.
And so she lowered her level to match them so that their quality doesn't stand out so much. But because of that last episode, Aqua was there, you could like really see the difference. And he also saw the difference and was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So credit to him.
Yeah.
He's not completely clueless. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, is it really his fault if he never experienced a challenge, right? If no one gave him a challenge, like he went on this whole monologue about how even when he has a crush on a girl, it was a girl that confesses to him, right?
Yeah.
Everything he did, people just laughed. Like he teased the kid and they just laughed, even though he probably personally didn't think it was that funny, but other people laughed anyway. So it was like, well, I guess I get to do anything I want and I would succeed. He never had a point where he failed, and so how do you improve if you never failed before?
And also,
how would you know that you're shit?
Probably.
Yeah, he was surrounded by yes men. Yeah.
Same problem.
I mean, that's why in the episode 3, remember how they were at the mentor's house? And then they were talking about how like, oh, the authors are surrounded by yes men, and both Kana and Melt were like,
oh yeah, he was at the back. He just sidled in from the back.
yeah, because he also had the same experience where everyone else around him was like, oh yeah, you're really great. You're such a top model. You can do anything. And so now he's finally had the reality kicked into him, being like, actually, I'm not good. I want to be better. Yeah.
Okay, so this thing where the tear turns into kind of like
a crystal or a star?
A star-shaped crystal? It's blue and red.
It's,
I don't know, aqua and ruby colors, I don't know.
I don't know if that means anything.
And then there's more impressionist stuff where...
I do love the painty look.
What is it? It's not exploded, but it's sort of raining down on him, kind of like in a
Rain,
shower of
yeah.
comets. It's a shower of comets. When does
Oh,
when
no,
does a
no. I
comet
think it's
become garbage? Wait,
yeah.
what was it?
when,
When does
when does
garbage become a
when does
comet?
it become a meteor? No,
Yeah,
garbage become a
sorry.
meteor.
Yeah,
Epic the musical. That's what we're
sorry.
referencing in case you
Yes,
don't know what
yes.
we're talking
Reference.
about. Reference.
What
So
does that
wait, so
mean?
he's looking up, right? He's looking up. So these are all stars that's shooting across in the
Like the
sky.
other talents
Yeah, the
just
other stars,
shining brightly. Their acting
yeah,
skills far outstripping his own, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm like a blank." He's like, actually, he's literally a
yeah,
blank.
yeah.
It's just an outline. Yeah. Oh, okay.
And so he falls,
Yep. He's on his butt,
and then there's one in front of
reaching
him.
for a star. Because he's like, can I have some of that? And the star's like,
And it's like,
no.
nope. No.
Yep. Okay. So it's kind of like always
Yep.
out of his grasp. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he's chasing and it's working hard.
He kind of looks really, oh no, younger here, or is that just the angle?
It might just be the angle.
Oh, okay. This is like during rehearsals, obviously, when everyone around him, whether intentionally or not, is making him feel like shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
but you know,
And then
he works hard. Like what that casting director was saying to the director about how, because the director was like, I don't know about this dud man, and the casting director's like, well, that one's a bit of a personal choice, but and I don't really know if there's anything more to it than the casting director or whoever that guy was saw some potential in him, or just liked the fact that one, he's good looking, which helps, and two, he actually does have a good work ethic. So he's like, oh, I'll just give this guy a chance because I kind of personally just like him. Or if it's something more than in terms of like, I don't know, he knows his dad or something, and he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I think I kind of understand. I feel like if you've been in that position long enough, you probably have the, you know, from pattern recognition. You eventually from experience learn to see someone's potential, right? It's like
I guess, yeah.
You learn to know like this person will sell well, this person's marketable, this person has potential
gut instinct.
to get better. But it's gut instinct, but also I guess I'm just drawing my experiences from being a games raid trainer.
Yes, games raid master.
No, not a master. Just a very casual trainer. But I can generally tell if someone will improve. Well, because they show signs, because they either ask questions or they'll work at things in their own time. They'll do things outside of what you assign them to do. Usually it'll be like, okay, you know, for raid, it'll be like, okay, learn the mechanics, and then we go in and hit it a few times, and then, you know, the session's over, and then we come back and tackle it next week. The people who show signs of will become a great, you know, player, raider, team, you know, whatever, is usually the ones that will go out of their way to ask a lot of questions, ask where they could improve, and then they will spend more time. They will just, in their own time, will be like, okay, I'm going to tackle it again outside of this group. And I'm going to like look up videos. I'm going to try and learn from others what I can do better. So it's like there are definite signs that I see in Melt that that director probably could see too, to be like, even though he's still really new, he has potential to become a great actor because he's putting all the work in.
Right. Like he's different to all the other hot actors who are just coasting.
Yeah. Like they probably just did not learn anything from Sweet Today and continue to be models and do whatever, like not go into acting. Whereas Mel specifically, you know, found a teacher, started working on his stamina, like daily run. Man, I wish I could do daily run, but I do not have the discipline to do that. Yeah. And just like worked hard.
Yeah. Didn't the guy say didn't particularly see? I don't know. Okay, we can go back afterwards to kind of double check because in my mind, I kind of remember the older guy saying, yes, he has no talent, but there's something there and he works hard. And usually the people who shine later is this type. Like it's this kind of put your head down to the grind and yeah. But we can go back definitely and check because
we can
that
go
was
back and
interesting.
check because I could be wrong. I'm just putting my opinion, inserting my opinion.
But no, you're right. Yeah, now that you're talking about your training experience, when I think about like just music students, like you know, piano or violin, whatever, something that's very practical and demands, especially at the beginning when the learning curve is the steepest, lots and lots of hours of practice. Yes, talent gets you very far, like undeniably, that's true. But also, you can definitely pick out students who may not pick things up as quickly and lack that natural talent, but definitely make up more than make up for it with the time that they put in. And just the not being afraid to practice hard. So yeah, right. Good point.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost at the.
So what time are you? At?
22:02 is when he's kind of trying to get
to grab the star.
Okay. But it's kind of eluding.
He's missing.
Ooh, and then his hand turns into this. I don't know. It goes
this
into
sketchy, wavy, and then turns into the eye.
So everything else other than the stars and the comets or whatever that he's seeing in his eye is blank again. Interesting. It's kind of like he's kind of excluded, I guess. Exclusion is the feeling I'm getting at this point.
And he probably feels that way with a group of pro actors.
Yeah. But he is determined.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? How would you describe this sort of art? Like sketchy, silhouette, abstract silhouette.
Wait, which part are you at?
22:16.
Oh, okay, you're further than I am. Ooh,
22:16.
It's definitely like
colorful
his silhouette is more pencil brush. Oh, there's like one part 15 is like glitch effect. Did you see that?
Yes, I'm on that.
22:15.
1 second later.
Yeah.
It's like a glitchy
TV
onion.
Glitchy. Onion? Wait, why onion?
Oh, I'm at 22:16. Kind of like a glitchy, lopsided onion. Onion head. Aqua.
Okay. Yeah, it turns blue. Yeah, it continues to be glitchy. Glitchy is a like internal conflict.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's not registering.
Yeah. The struggle.
Yeah.
But at least it's colored. Colored struggle, meaning that he maybe is internalizing some of the lessons that, you know, they're trying to, you know, get into. Okay, we keep going. 22:18.
Keep going.
It's like
the blood.
Either the fire, it's kind of fiery, but also it turns into blood. So I don't know. It's like trial through fire and blood. That's right. Fire and blood. It's hard. It's suffering, I guess.
It's like passion, right? You need to put in the hard work.
Yeah, and that's when he's obviously getting all the blisters from all of his training with that trick that he did with the sword, which is really cool. Yeah, man, that I relate so much to that shot of like the fist squeezing the blood, because when you're learning violin at the beginning, you especially you just have to play until you're blisters rise up on all of your fingers on your left hand that's pressing the strings, and bleeding as well. Like there's just
it
no way around
bleeds?
it. I mean,
crap.
I only bled once because there's this piece that had a lot of notes on the E string, and the E string is like the thinnest one. Like it kind of cuts into your so yeah, and that's true. Literally like bleeding. Yeah.
Damn.
Nah, it's kind of cool. You kind of be like, ugh, I bled practicing
my effort. Yeah.
It's a badge of honor. Yeah. Oh, and then this
is teacher like, how dare you bleed on the violin?
No, they were like, oh, just so little. That's nothing. This is the next one is like rebirth scene, right?
Rebirth, like the cracking out of an egg.
Yeah, the little yolky.
Yeah,
that was cool. You're right. I didn't even notice the egg thing.
I just noticed a crack and it reminded me of egg cracking.
Yeah, becoming like obviously naked because this is new birth. Like this is he takes nothing from his previous life into this new era. I guess.
This new self. I guess it's like he had to be a rebirth because he had to let go of all his previous preconceptions of like, you know, everything I do will be successful, right? He had to basically drop his ego to be able to embody this character in this moment.
Yeah. And also it's like I can rely on nothing I was able to rely on before. Like my looks, my popularity. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then the full on like blood splattered.
Blood, yeah.
It's like no gain without pain. And
it's interesting that the other character is like basically like splashing water, right? It's like he's fighting a losing battle because his like whole thing is fire, right?
Yeah. Ooh. It's like baptism through fire.
Yeah.
Very like religious overtones. I don't know.
I mean, is Christianity big in Japan? I don't know.
I think there's a very low percentage of the population that professes to be Christian compared to obviously other Western nations.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there must be parallel symbolisms across the religions, like, you know, baptized through fire or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Tommy says that last season in Oshinoko, there was a bit about TV actors fitting into 3 roles: talent, looks, or star power, and rising/fresh talent. The casting guy may have noticed the effort and fit him into rising. It's obviously more of a gamble on a stage production over TV. It seems to have paid off this time, yeah.
And he can probably afford to have a few duds, like, you know, not turn into diamonds, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Christianity isn't big, but Christian symbolism is. Okay. Actually, I did notice that, like, in the other animes I've watched, like Koseki or even Haibane, the one I am currently still watching. Yeah, there is a lot of religious symbolism drawn from Christianity. Because the whole rebirth situation and, you know, becoming a new self it's universal, I guess. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, he's saying I won't lose to anybody. Is blocking the water.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was already at that part.
Okay. Ooh, I love how he's like smiles just before the water covers over him. Because I guess he knows
like
that he's got it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
And then he dies. His old self dies forever.
Yeah.
Nice. Yay.
Nice.
Yeah, that was amazing.
They did so well. Like, that was not in the manga. I can say that for sure.
Oh, you're kidding. None of that.
Yeah,
like
that was
that whole sequence.
That whole sequence, I'm 98% sure was not in the manga. I could be wrong. I could be 2% wrong, but from my memory, it was mostly just the cool action and then everyone going, wow, oh my god, that's so amazing.
Wow. Impressed. Very impressed if they like came
Yeah.
up with that sequence. Just to
I'm
deepen
pretty
the
sure.
symbolism of that transformation. That was really cool then. Yeah. Wow. Whoa.
Okay, I'm going back to the part where the producer guys were talking.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
1227.
Yeah, because Laddie's like, that was a director's ideology. 27? What?
1227.
Oh, 1227. 1227. Just a personal thing. Like
If there's an empty
instinct.
seat, you thrust the kid you favor into it. You got good looks and a good voice.
So acceptable. Like,
I guess so. Yeah, so I guess the guy is pretty much like, well, I don't think he has talent, but he's acceptable as long as he grows. Like, time will tell.
But he's
whether
definitely,
he'll improve.
He's really just praising him for his work ethic. And that's pretty much it. That was the... Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Was there anything? Oh, can we go back to when Melt was like recounting his early experiences? Man, what was that about the senpai? I was like, was he sexually assaulted as a kid?
I think so, yes.
I'm like, because that
wait,
also...
sorry, I'm still
Oh,
back.
you're still
sorry,
on
I'm
that.
Still,
okay,
I'm
sorry.
still on
we'll
that
go
scene.
that later.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah, so in the end, he's still saying that because he works hard, right?
Yeah, like there's nothing there yet, but eventually, sometimes it comes out if they work hard, and he's the kind of guy who works hard. Yeah, is what I got. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's not really a lot of things, but I was in shock. I was like, whoa, I did not expect that.
It just like came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, an experience, but obviously it's there because it has impacted him and still impacts him to this day, like as it would. But yeah, was that covered in the manga?
Yes, that was.
Okay.
So his backstory, like how he had so many yes men, like that whole part was in the manga.
Right.
Including him being sexually assaulted by his senior.
I wonder...
In middle school as well. Like, middle school is probably...
by someone older.
Isn't middle school like 12, 13, 14?
Yeah. Oh, man. Like, yeah. Okay.
So he was like 12.
Yeah. Holy shit. Laddie, I took it as an older girl exploited him when he wasn't really ready, but he kind of just went along with it without knowing how he felt. Yeah, I mean, 1, if he's 12, and 2, I guess culturally, there's this sort of like, especially with guys, it's like, oh, you got hit on by an older girl, you should be happy, when it's not. Like, it's totally not okay. But there's just this intense pressure for guys to just take it because it's like, well, of course you can't be. Exactly.
Why won't you be happy?
Yeah. And that just, oh my God, that just reminds me, I don't know if you know about all that like crap that's happening that's surfacing again with Justin Bieber because of the arrest of P. Diddy. Probably don't, but kind of really long story short, all these clips resurfaced of Justin Bieber back in the day when because he came out when he was also around 11, 12, I think, like that age, right? And then just all these clips resurfaced of him as a young teenager being sexually harassed, assaulted by grown adults. And all, like, at the time, you know, I don't really remember much of Bieber other than thinking his songs were a bit annoying. But, like, looking back now, it's awful just because people, you know, there's this clip of him being sexually assaulted, like, on stage in front of, like, at an award show. Like, this older woman grabs him, kisses him, and grabs his butt.
What?
And he's like, oh my God. Like, you can see just the shock on his face and how he feels violated. He literally says, I felt violated, but people just laugh at him. And no one did anything. Like, none of the adults stood up and was like, that is wrong. And when he did get flack for it, it was because it was like, oh, why wouldn't you want a cougar to grab you and, like, sexually harass you? You're a guy. You're meant to like it. Like, it's just insane, the stuff that was viewed as okay. So I'm kind of just, like, relating it back to this. It's like, man, that kind of ties into how, in a way, I feel like Melt, maybe it's just this, like, he's also living up to certain expectations of what a good-looking hot actor is meant to be like, you know, cool, just taking anything, be like, you know, ugh, oh.
Like, he needs to present himself in a certain way. It's like he needs to be the funny guy. He needs to draw attention. But then even when he himself doesn't feel like it's funny, people laugh anyway. So it's like, well, I guess I'm doing it right. It's like he doesn't. It's like very fake self-confidence where he probably also doesn't think he deserved any of it, but because everyone around him saying that, oh yeah, you're doing really well, it's like, okay, I guess I am. Like, there was no standard for him to compare himself to, whether he's actually doing well or not, because no one else around him is allowing him to learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he learned. Yay.
But he finally learned.
So
character development.
Just, you know what? Completely a character that I probably didn't care much about. And then all of a sudden, within the space of not even a whole episode, like half an episode, the man just turn it around.
Yeah. And it's like double effect, right? I think it was Laddie, someone earlier was like, yeah, the author's very meta commentary, right? It's like, I've also written this character in a way that you will totally underestimate it, and I'm gonna change your mind.
Right. That's so cool. The whole intro is just completely devoid of him talking about what he wanted or felt, just what others thought he should feel or want. Yes, which ties in perfectly with during that whole impressionist art sequence. For a lot of that, he's just a blank or like an outline and to be filled in by outside.
Yeah, well, that's why there's a green screen, right? He's actually blank behind him, but there's pretty much other people are filling it in, or what he thinks other people want. That's such a great concept of using green screen. It's just like, none of that is real.
Yeah, mind blown. Any other thoughts you wanted to say about
let me quickly scroll through.
Was there, other than Melt? I know Melt was like the main focus.
Yeah, he was pretty much the main
totally focus. Just bringing it down a notch. At the beginning, when the main guy is like, like the guy who's like, I'm gonna be king.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna be like, you know, king, Japanese king. You know what I thought about immediately when he yelled, I was thought about that ant orgasm scene in Hunter.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
For those of you who
Yeah,
haven't watched Hunter and
no.
Hunter, Hunter x Hunter, I mean. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
Why
I told
did you have
you
to
I would bring it
remind me?
down, totally down into the dirt. But yeah, that's what I thought about. I was like, I know that word because of Hunter x Hunter. Oh, yeah. Oh, Tommy is like, what?
What is this?
We should just
scene
send
that you're
Tommy
talking?
the clip, I reckon. I mean, unless
We
you
should
want to
just-
watch Hunter x Hunter for how many episodes? 100 and something
A lot,
until it
100
happens.
plus
Yeah.
episodes.
But hopefully there's other people here who have seen Hunter x Hunter that scene.
And know what we're talking about. Not sure. No. Everything else is great except for certain moments in that arc.
What do you mean?
is-
That Ant
Uh,
King orgasm scene was... It was oddly just gross and terrifying, but also very cathartic. So I think very few things give you both those feelings.
at the same time.
Anyway, sorry.
Yep.
Did you have any other thoughts on this episode? Maybe
I
the first half
thought
during the theater
first
stage
half,
play?
I
Yeah.
really enjoy Kana's voice acting.
What about her voice acting?
I feel like she could change her tone really quickly. Have you noticed that she even when she in the previous episode when she was toying with Akane, she just like flipped her tone really quickly.
Yes. I'm like
Like when she got
murderous.
defeated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, went from
To kid
I'm a badass and then be like, please don't hurt me.
We have a taker. No Name's gonna watch Hunter x Hunter for 100 plus episodes.
Oh, okay.
And let us know what they thought about the
Yep, you must tell us.
scene.
It should just be orgasm.
Oh my god. Genius. That was genius. No, please don't watch it just for that one scene. It's a very good show. It's a very good show.
It's actually a very good show. Except for that one arc in particular is very weird.
Yes, but kind of amazing voice acting. Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Melt. Melt, I don't know if you remember how he sounded in Sweet Today. I remember watching
Barely. Just normal talking, like very oily kind of voice.
No. When he was acting in Sweet Today, I don't know if you remember how he acted. It is so amazing that the voice actor manages to recreate what a very bad voice actor could sound like. Because that's what he did. Like a very jilted, very not even basically a poor voice actor. Let's put it that way. He just does not sound natural. But the fact that the real voice actor can manage to sound
bad
like that, manage to sound bad.
Yes, it is infinitely more difficult to, as a good voice actor, to be bad than to be great. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when remember in Hibike, like the first episode, they had to like play poorly.
Yes. I was so impressed. I mean, in Hibike, wasn't it because they specifically sought out like a high school band to play certain parts to make it sound like...
No, I thought the very first episode of season 1 Hibike, when they were at the
intro, like the orientation.
The intro, the orientation,
they're trying to get new recruits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think from my memory, they did say that they had to try and play poorly.
Someone did ask me, someone asked me, is it hard as a professional player to play badly? And I was like, yes, it is very difficult to... I don't know why. Why is it difficult?
It's...
One,
I think it's just hard to
you're just so
mimic,
practiced.
right?
You're so practiced that you've already left behind all of... I mean, at this point, it's probably like 20 years into your career, right? And you're just so practiced. And also, I would say a second part is because it kind of kills a bit of your soul to play that badly. I'm like, no one wants a bit of their soul to die, even if it's for artistic purposes. Like some of you got standards, right? So yeah, that's probably why it's hard.
But wouldn't the hard part be it's not playing the wrong note, it's understanding how a new player would play this wrong, right? I feel like that's
Yes.
more difficult. It's like, yeah, you can easily just go, oh, I played the wrong note here, or I came like, you know, my first note, I came a little bit late, but it's like how do you consistently play poorly?
Yeah, that's it. So
Yeah. Which reminds me, I think there was something similar vein of the Melt's voice actor being able to voice poorly. I can't remember which anime it was. I remember there was an anime that manages to like kind of it's like a student film. So it's like, you know, the cinematography and everything, but manages to capture how a student will film, if that makes sense, in anime. Like
okay.
how poorly they would film, like there's no tripod, like the camera is shaky, and
Yep.
then sometimes they'll like zip around. It's just like being able to recreate that, but then in anime it's like it's so good when it's like they paid attention to the details of, yes, we are trying to make this film look like a student made it, and so it's gonna look jank. Like it's not going to be like a perfect film production, because you can totally draw it as if it's a perfect film production, but they made sure to put in that extra effort to be like, no, we need to draw this out as if the student, you know, filmed this. Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
remember which
So
show it was,
it's
but yeah.
it's an art and a science to create bad stuff. What's this? A bunch of jazz musicians cringing while they try to make lemonade out of them. Yeah, it's probably just their souls dying, to be honest. Anything else? Any other thoughts?
Anything
Do you
else?
guys have any like
From the
standout moments?
from the last 3 episodes that we
Oh
caught up
no, I
in?
did write something down that I thought was very true in terms of creative philosophy. So I think it was the director who was like, I actually wrote it down word for word. You need to preserve existing rules while also judiciously breaking them, which I thought applies to. It's such a fine balance that any creative person, I guess, has encountered. I don't know. I was reading a book about music. I'm like digging into like, you know, old music theory books, and it's exactly that concept. It's like something's not original just because you break all the rules, like left, right, and center, and you're just creating something out of nothing. You know, what's truly original is when you take an existing form and you kind of build on it, or like you break certain things, but not all of it. Like you're not smashing the entire thing, but you're sort of creating something new out of something that already existed, which is a very subtle difference. Yeah. I thought, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's very vague and like arty-farty, but I thought I was like, oh, he's saying it right there in terms of.
Yeah, isn't this like our debate over music, people who understand music theory composing versus people who don't understand like never learned music theory composing. It's like people who already have knowledge of music theory knows the rules but can also know it's like
how to break the rules, and be conscious about it.
It's a subverting expectations, right? When you have, so if you know the rules, it means that other people also know these rules, and so people are expecting these rules, and so when you break them, that's what makes it amazing.
And it's like, even if you're not aware of the rules, or even just how your brain accepts and processes music, especially if you've been brought up in certain music traditions, you're kind of, even if you don't know the specific vocab, because you grew up in society, like, and you grew up with a certain tradition, you kind of internalize those rules already. And so your brain just automatically reacts to music in a certain way because that's what you grew up with. Whereas music theory can actually unearth those rules or those, essentially they're like psychological tricks that music can have on you, and be like, identify them and then figure out ways to break those expectations. Yeah. So yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Tommy asks, do we ever get to see any of the table tennis play?
Ooh,
I was actually curious about it, but they completely skipped.
Didn't we? For a
did
bit
we?
in the last episode?
It wasn't this one. It was it was when Aqua and Akane went to watch, right? Which was in episode 3, I think. It wasn't episode 4.
No, it was. Oh yeah, when I said the last one, I meant the one we watched 9 weeks ago, which was episode 3. Yeah.
We never saw any Prince of Table Tennis. That would be hilarious. I would watch that.
What is Prince of Table Tennis?
No, Prince of Tennis is a manga / anime series, and it's very enjoyable if you can suspend your sense of disbelief that everyone has superpowers when they play tennis. It's actually really funny.
That sounds like an amazing premise.
It is. It's actually, I don't know. It's always funny to me because they're all middle schoolers, but they all look like high schoolers or older.
That's true for a lot of shows.
True, yeah. I don't know. I read this when I was younger. It's been over a decade since I've read Prince of Tennis.
Wow. Yeah, thank you guys for showing up again. It's really cool just being able to toss, because it's so symbolism heavy, and like there's all these things that you might just miss if you're just watching it by yourself. It's pretty cool watching it on
hoping people will comment. I hope people will actually like write comments and detailed analysis, because that would be great to read.
If you guys have any other thoughts that pop up, just chuck them in the there is a thread for Oshinoko, right? I don't know.
Yes,
we
do. There's
I mean, not a thread, channel. There's a channel for Oshinoko.
There's a
channel. Anything else comes to mind. Yeah, and we can chat about it the next watch party. Yeah. Cool. All right. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.